Out here on my single track. Thought I'd get some GoPro footage before winter hits here. I've only got 8 minutes of recording time left, so hopefully I can get a couple laps in. There's one lap in. Well, I've owned my KX112 for one full season now. I thought I'd give a little update and review on this bike. I really enjoy it. It's my first year owning a dirt bike, it's my first dirt bike actually, so I can't really compare it to anything other than my quads and sleds, but this thing's been great. It hasn't really given me any issues other than maybe some jetting at the beginning of the season and the levers breaking off when I wiped it out at the beginning of the season. I'll do a quick little walk around here, maybe show you some of the updates I wanted. Bud Racing makes a secondary rad that goes over here. I think I'm going to buy that and add that. You got to get a different pipe and different, well, probably leave the stock muffler, but I'll probably get a different one. I think it'll be a worthwhile upgrade, especially in the sand. This thing seems to heat up pretty fast, but you got to really rev the shit out of it because it's got such small little tires. It's a pretty plush riding machine. I really enjoy the ride and the handling, you know, being so light and tight trails like this. It's great. You know, everyone's asked me about different machines I've owned, quads and sleds throughout the years, if I would recommend them for trail riding, and I almost always say no. This is the first machine I've owned that I would say I would actually recommend it for trail riding. It's a lot of fun. It's really capable. I know some guys don't like these two-strokes. I rode an older KX112, and it didn't have any low-end torque. I wouldn't have recommended that one for trail riding, but these 112s have a ton of low-end torque. I actually didn't know it revved so high until halfway through the season. It's almost got like a bit of a mid-range bog, kind of a bog, just kind of a dead spot, and I thought I was hitting the end of the RPM range, but I still had quite a few thousand RPM to go, so she's a real screamer. One thing I found out I wasn't super impressed with, I guess, it didn't come with an O-ring chain. It's just a regular non-O-ring chain. Really easy to take apart, but I don't really like the idea of that, so I'm going to get an O-ring chain for it, and maybe a one-tooth larger sprocket in the front to give me a little more top speed. There's a lot of straight, flat roads out here, so top speed is a good thing for me. Though I do like the torque setup it has right now. You could just crack the throttle in first and even second gear sometimes. If you're in the upper RPM range, it'll just stand up. I'm not a wheelie guy, so having a machine that could just stand up like that is pretty sweet. What else? Do a quick little walk around. I've wiped it out quite a few times, you know, especially in the sand, but it's held up pretty well. Rad. Has like a minor bend. You probably can't even see it just at the bottom there. No real damage or anything to it this year that I can think of. I'm gonna have to go over it at the end of the season here, check You know, change the oil. I've been running some pretty shitty oil in it, which isn't good. I know the air filter is going to be dirty. Check the chain tension, stuff like that. I might get a new chain. Check the brakes. Probably change the spark plug again. I do that quite often. I don't like to foul them because I'm always out here in the middle of nowhere alone. But yeah, that's kind of a quick update on my KX112. I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy dirt biking, but I really like it after this year. I spent countless hours, probably 50 or more hours building the single track. It was totally worth it. I got my own little slice of heaven. It's not my land, but anyone could come use it if they want, if they could find it. Hey everyone, today I'm making some single track through the bush. I thought I'd give you a little tips and tricks how to do it yourself. It's not that hard, but it does take a lot of physical work. So it's easier if you got some cutting tools. I like these electric chainsaws. They're just really handy. You don't got to start them and stop them. You can just pick them up and go, and the batteries last quite a while. So the first thing I always do is I find a natural opening. You can see here, I had to cut a couple trees to get in here, but it's pretty wide. You could probably get a quad through here now. So the next area, I'm going straight, but I was kind of looking around, you know, it's pretty dense, pretty hard to get through some of this stuff, but I noticed here, it's a bunch of dead trees and deadfall and stuff, so I'm gonna make a path through here. I'll update you guys when I get all this shit cleared out of here. Little update, I'm making pretty good progress. This section's pretty thick. Show you what I did. So here's where we're standing before, and there's a bunch of trees. Cleared it all back to here, and she's pretty thick here. Maybe I'll do a little time lapse, show you my clearing abilities here. Well, it's been a few hours. It's about 5 o'clock. Finally finished the trail here. I got the dirt bike out. That's always the last step, is packing it down with the dirt bike. Sometimes that can take weeks or months or even years depending on how much you ride, but I'll show you what I made here. So kind of here's where we started at the beginning of the day. You know, it was really thick, hard to get through. Took quite a few hours of clearing. But it goes through here now. This was an absolute pain in the ass. You can see some tree stumps. I left this stuff. It's kind of cool to run over. It's like little logs. You could see all the trees I had to move into the bush. It's taller than I am. It's insane, and they're everywhere, you know. Everywhere you look, I had to stack them. Comes through here. More branches I had to stack. This place was hell to get through. And then it comes over here and right through here. And then it connects back to the trail. You can see this one's actually packed down pretty good, so hopefully a few weeks this one will be nice and packed.